See, you already know this, so it's okay. Honestly, it's okay. This is like a remembering or remembering. Does this make sense to you? If this might help, yeah? If one remained one, what could it know?
Yeah, nothing.
Zero, right?
Zero. Yeah, absolutely.
Good, good. And you also have to understand that when we say one, we don't mean one is made of parts. Then it wouldn't be one, would it? It'd be a whole series of parts that,
No.
that accumulate together, and then we would call that one. Okay, that's not the sort of one I'm talking about. I'm talking about one without parts. That's why that terminology gets used. One without a second, or a
But
third,
to
or a
me,
fourth,
that's
or
an
a fifth.
assumption. It's something I have to believe at the moment still. Like,
One. Yeah, but I'm trying to help you. Look, listen.
yeah,
Here's the, yeah. If one remained as one, what could it know?
yeah, nothing.
Zero. Okay. So let's call the one the infinite, just for the sake of this discussion right now. Okay. So let's
I
call
call
the
it
one.
zero.
It's okay. That's okay. But just for the
Yeah.
sake of the argument, we're going to call it the infinite, which means there's no beginning and no end. Infinite. Okay. No beginning and no end. Yeah. And it's not made of parts. And we've both just agreed if it remained that way, you couldn't have any experience. You couldn't add anything to it. You couldn't take anything away from it. Because to add something to it, you'd have to still be taking what is the adding to it from one, because it's all. You can't take anything away from it, because if you tried to take something away from the one, wherever you put it, you'd be putting it back into the one, because it's all. So you can't add anything to it, and you can't take anything away from it. Okay? Now, in that infinite absolute source state, if it stayed that way, there's no experience. Agreed?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So what must that one do to have then an experience?
Yeah, it kind of has to split itself up in many
Yeah,
parts, or at
you
least,
could say that. Yeah, that's reasonable. You could say that. Yeah. So the
I would have
one,
to invent. Yeah, maybe like
good,
imagine, dream, invent
good.
something.
Hallelujah. Yes. Okay. So the one creates a seeming Rebecca, and it creates the seeming Rebecca from two products. One product is mind, thoughts, and the other product is itself, consciousness and awareness. They're the two things, right? Just track with me.
Yes.
Track with me. Track with me. Okay. Now, for it to have a seeming experience of a Rebecca, a little Rebecca in a body that's apparently separate from all the other bodies on the planet. You know, it's this isolated thing in this big, massive universe, and there's just this little Rebecca, right? For it to have that experience and now believe that it's finite, you do understand that the character's finite. It's not infinite, yeah?
Yeah.
Even the body, it's finite, yeah? For it to have that seeming experience of a Rebecca, which it creates via thoughts, right? I'm assuming you've sat there long enough in some form of meditation, and it's finally dawned on you that thoughts just happen, right?
Yeah.
Can't stop them, they just happen. I mean, if we could stop it, we bloody well would, right? But we discover thoughts just happen. Yeah. Okay. They don't just appear from nothing into the mind. There's an intelligence behind those thoughts. Now, you may have looked long enough to realize, holy shit, I'm not the thinker. Thoughts just happen. Well, it begs the question, doesn't it? Who the bloody hell's the thinker then?
Yeah.
Now, good. Now, let's come back to this. So we've got the one, which is infinite. Do you understand? Yeah, we've got the one
Yes.
that's infinite. Okay? Can't experience anything. Can't experience anything because it's all. There's nothing left to experience. It's all, right? It's whole, it's one, nothing to experience. Right? And then to have a seeming experience, yeah, it creates an idea, like you said earlier, a dream, if you like. It creates an idea of a Rebecca. Okay. Now, and then now the one is believing it's finite. It's a little individual. That's a little 2-year-old. Yeah. And it's got a mummy and a daddy, and mummy and daddy are teaching it words which they were taught, and their parents taught them, and their parents taught them, and the big long chain, right, of language. Yeah. Now we've got a little Rebecca that's standing there. Yeah. That now believes it's very little, and it's very, very dependent on its parents, and it looks up at its parents like they're God, right? But this little child that's very tiny and very small. Now, for the one to have that experience, right? What must
The consciousness, right?
what
The
must
one.
it? Yes. What must it do for it to have that experience? What for it to believe it's now this and not that? What must it do? It's not right.
Attached to it somehow, like give it all its attention.
Something much bigger than that.
Think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Could it have this experience and still know it's the one? Could it have this little finite experience and yet still know it's the one?
Well, you're the best example for that, I think. You, yes? No? I mean, you.
I mean, yes, but no. Like, we kind of jumping around, but you know, the difference between pre-waking and post-waking, pre-waking, all we know is duality. And we don't even know that that's what we know, duality. Just the norm, duality. But we don't even understand what duality is. We have no clue what duality is. Then we stumble onto non-duality, and we're trying to work out what non-dual is with using a dualistic instrument. Good luck with that. I mean, good luck with that. Yeah. So pre-waking, all we know is duality. Post-waking, now we know non-dual and dual. Non-dual and dual. So now we know the function of it all, what's happening, and where I actually am, the direct experience. I am here, this. But when I say I am this here, I'm not referring to the body. I'm not giving it a location. But dualistically, the mind goes crazy with that idea. What do you mean you can't? You're not giving? Clearly, your consciousness must be in your body. Says this. No. So, for the one,
I've kind of seen that, like, there's just seeing happening, and it's not really. That's just I've trained myself, or I've been taught to think, to believe that Rebecca is seeing, yeah, and stuff like that.
Yes,
but
from the age of 2.
What I want to say.
From the age of 2, that's been happening. From the age of 2. And everything and everyone around you has been reinforcing that idea. You didn't even choose your name, for God's sake. You're me, that me that's there. You had no choice in that being created like it's been created. None. Zero choice. It got put there.
By the way, did we answer the question, who is the thinker then? Who is this intelligence?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Remind me of that.
Because I mean, I noticed that how thoughts just pop up and stuff like that, but then I can kind of interrupt sometimes. I mean, but I feel like I can with my consciousness, I can decide now. I want to stop the thought. I change. I take on a different perspective. And I
Still
used
thoughts.
to think
Yeah,
that
yeah, but they're
this is
still
the
thoughts.
true self.
Yeah, but they're
But
still
now I
thoughts.
realize maybe not. Maybe it's still, yeah, it's still
They're
thoughts.
still thoughts.
So the true self doesn't have a voice at all. Yeah, it must have. I mean, it speaks
Listen,
through this body, you.
listen, you jump all over the place. Come back
Yeah.
here. They're trying to rein you in. Listen. So let's go back to the infinite creating itself to be finite. Okay, we're back there.
Yeah, got
Right?
that. Okay.
Now, I said to you earlier, the two things that is needed to create this idea of an apparent finite little person is thoughts and the fact that you're conscious and aware and alive. Those two things. Okay? Now, I asked you before, what must one do to have this seeming experience of now being a little finite little Rebecca? What must one do? Other than there's thoughts and there's consciousness, but
Other
what
than
else?
that,
What else must the one do to have this experience?
I must believe in it.
It must forget it's the one.
Yeah, I must believe it's that one, the other, the
It,
person, and
it
forget it's
must
the other. Yeah.
it must forget it's
Okay.
the one. How could it have this experience? Yeah, if it was still the one, it wouldn't even happen if it was just the one. Remember. So for it to have this seeming experience, and now it's identified as a Rebecca, yeah, or a Terry for that matter, right? Now it's identified as that. For it to have this finite seeming experience, the only way this could occur would be if the one forgot on purpose, so it could have that experience, yeah, must forget on purpose that it's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Now all we're doing is remembering. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. Yeah. And you asked, yeah, okay, well, because I said to you, all right, thoughts just happen. It begs the question, where are the thoughts coming from? The one who's creating all is this, the little Rebecca, which is all thoughts, right? Little 2-year-old Rebecca, then Rebecca's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and the thoughts expand and expand, expand and expand. And the story gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you arrive here, you've got a huge big backstory about a Rebecca, right?
But the truth is, I am the one already. So I am the thinker.
Yes. Yes.
I am the thing.
Yes. Yes. But be very careful there. Look at me. Be very careful. If you assume that the one is still Rebecca, you'll be in all sorts of strife. You are the one. You are that. But until you know absolutely that you're not the Rebecca, yeah, if you don't know that absolutely, the Rebecca character will slip back in here and claim ownership of being the one. See, when, if I just talk about my experience, Beck, like before I kind of went, holy shit, that's my way. I'm an Australian, right? Holy shit. Before that, my mind was so busy. It was so insanely busy trying to work this out and then giving up on it and then just trying to exist in the world, deal with myself and all the opinions that I had of myself, my opinion I had about the world and others in it. It was so busy. Yeah. Then I went, oh, yeah. And this just went, phew. Now are there thoughts? Yeah. What kind of thoughts? Yeah. Functional thoughts. Just ordinary, everyday, functional thoughts. Functional thoughts. And there might also be a thought, yeah, which you wouldn't really call a functional thought, right? Could also be a thought, Wow, what an absolute beautiful sunset. But the thinking that happens here now, compared to the thinking that used to happen here now, is quite peaceful. It's calm. Because the underlying truth is known. And then this just becomes a tool, just like seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling are tools. I sometimes refer to them as little portals for the one to be able to experience through seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, consciousness, awareness, and thoughts. But what you're looking for is staring at me. What's being sought is staring at me. All your life, you've been taking this that's staring at me to be Rebecca.
Well, yeah, when you say that, I feel like you're talking to this body here.
I know.
But you're
I know
not.
you do.
You're not.
I'm not. I'm 100% not.
But the
100%
body is
not.
still here and exists after awakening because mind still goes on. As you said, there's still the personality and
Consciousness still goes on.
or,
That's why the body's there. This, or you could say one still goes on. That's why the body's there. And at some point, the body will drop. Yeah, the one will still go on.
is there something like this universal mind or the big mind or the one mind or something?
Of course.
We call it like that.
Yeah. Rebecca, if there's only one, then the one is responsible for all. If there is only one, then the one is responsible for all. But what I'm trying to show you, which I was trying to show you earlier with the tree and the labels and so on and so forth, yeah, all of it is a mind construct. All of it.
Yeah.
The whole idea of it is an idea. And this gets used. Like if every single thought in your mind just all of a sudden collapsed and stopped, if it just completely collapsed and there was zero thoughts, zero thoughts. Now what would be out there?
But don't you think I had moments where I had no thoughts? Maybe if it was just for a minute. But there was still.
Listen. No, I'm talking zero. Zero.
Zero.
Zero. Like in deep sleep. In deep sleep, when
Like,
you pass the dream state, there's not even any dreaming happening now. Okay. In
right.
deep sleep, right?
Mm.
What world?
Mm.
Now, what is absent? This is important. What is absent in deep sleep?
Mind.
Good.
Thought.
Good. So I'm saying, in a complete absence, yeah?
Yeah.
What is there? You can say anything. Without this, you could say nothing.
If I would have my eyes open in deep sleep. Yeah. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Not even the body, no eyes, nothing. Yeah.
It might help you, like, if you understand that one remaining as one, there's no experience. And then for the one to have a seeming experience, the only way it could have a seeming experience as a finite, separate, little individual thing is it must forget it's the one to have that experience.
Right. Mm.
Must. Yeah. And then then all of a sudden, at some point, yeah, this happens. This, yeah. And the one decides to awaken here. The one decides to do that. not the character, the ones creating the character, the thoughts. Do you understand? And if it was going to happen anywhere, it'd have to be here, right now. It would have to be here, right now. The only place it could happen is here, right now. Not over there, not over there, not in the future, not in the past, not behind me, not in front of me, here, right here. And we don't explore this here-ness because we believe that this that's here is me, and it's not. That's why we have to come to see what we're not. Do you understand?
So you can't actually even say I am is wrong. There's no
Correct.
I am. There's no I.
I am.
It's just am.
I am is a pointer. Still, it's a pointer. I am. It's a pointer.
But there's no I.
When we say when we say I am, what's that referring to? It's referring to something, isn't it? I am. Those two words are referring to something. They're pointers.
Just this state of beingness, this here-ness.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll kind of find ourselves there. Yeah. And then watch what happens. Then the mind will step in and go, oh, is this all it is? This is a bit boring. Maybe I've missed something. Has to be more than this. And before you know it, the mind's going again.
Yeah.
And then this gets missed again. So the idea is to not get attached. Stop trusting it. It's misled you your whole life. Stop trusting it. No matter what it says about just this. No matter what it says. And just keep coming back to just this. Because if it's going to happen, here is where it's going to happen. Do you understand that? If it's going to happen, here is where it's going to happen. And we keep ignoring the here-ness because we assume that this that's here is me. So that's why you got to unravel what the me is. Do you understand? Because this that is here is not the me. It's that that's being sought. And does it need finding? No. No.
I feel like I even remember how this I started to be built, like, or for example, how it started to have preferences.
Yeah.
Remember these books, the friendships books we had in school that were passed around? Remember when I got the first one and there was like, what's your favorite animal, your favorite color, your favorite this and your favorite that? And I was like, Mom, what's my favorite color? Like, I didn't know. I like all the colors or favorite animal. And then I like, oh, okay. So like cat, we have cats. Okay, cat's my favorite animal. You know, it's all
taught. Taught. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So now I deconstruct all that again.
It's okay. Yeah. Look, two things, all right? You have to fully understand what you're not. And when you fully understand what you're not, I mean fully understand what you're not, then you're left with what you are. Now, when you're left with what you are, explore that from direct experience as opposed to using the mind to explore it.
Direct experience means physical senses.
Are you conscious? Are you conscious right now?
Yes.
There.
Oh. But I can't be all day and just this.
No,
I mean,
you don't have to be.
The problem is maybe, Terry, I have like right now I'm on this trip. I have so much time. I don't have a job. I don't work.
Beautiful.
I have time, so I'm like, but it drives me crazy. I don't know where to orient, what to do, but I feel like I'm not being led. Like,
okay.
I don't think, if I don't imagine anything, if I try to not have wishes, don't have dreams, and I think that makes me feel so miserable too. I'm
Okay.
trying to cut everything.
All right. All right. Okay. Can you take instruction?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So here's all I want you to do. Okay. 15 minutes in the morning. I just want you to sit here with this. Uh, I'm not asking you to sit there in lotus position. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm not
I could
asking you
do
to
it on
make it
my
into.
walk with my dog, for example, too.
Yeah, exactly. You can. You could just be walking. Yeah. And I just want you to come to the direct experience of being conscious for 15 minutes. Don't worry. Here's the thing. Do not be concerned at all if the mind goes crazy. That's not your interest anymore. Do you understand? It's no longer of interest.
For these 15 minutes.
Correct. And then at the end of the day, do the same thing, 15. Then the rest of the day, knock yourself out. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Jump, skip, laugh, climb a tree. I don't like whatever. Don't just there's just 2 periods in the day for 15 minutes where I want you to take the inquiry seriously. And when I say inquiry, I'm talking about into just this. If you want to spend parts of your day, yeah, because thoughts are there, analyzing what you're not, no problem. You can do that, not a problem. I mean, if that's what was happening, you couldn't stop it anyway, right? That's just what would be happening. Yeah. But just for two times in the day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, perhaps before you go to bed. Yeah. I just want you to sit there with just this and understand when you're doing that, the mind will try and have a field day with you. Give it no attention. There's a bigger fish to be fried here. You understand? Yeah. There's something else needs be noticed. Terrible language because it sounds like it's a thing. It's not a thing. Yeah. That's all. Just do that. Just do that. If you want to inquire into what you're not throughout the course of the day, great. I don't care. Yeah. You can work all that out. Yeah. Because you're just using the mind to work out what you're not. And what you're not is the mind anyway. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. If you want to unravel the me during the course, fine. Yeah. But just for 2 times in the day, for 15 minutes each time. Now you're not interested in mind at all. And you're exploring this direct experience of being conscious. It'll just go quiet. You'll hear a pin drop. Stay with that silence. Just stay. Expect nothing, but expect nothing. The only thing that would be expecting something would be this. Do you understand? Would be the mind.
Yeah.
Good. So expect nothing,
worst,
desire nothing, want nothing. All you're doing is just sitting with that stillness, and that's enough. Want
And the
nothing.
rest of the day, I can follow my desire, the desires of this seeming person. Because otherwise, what do I do? I kind of lost all motivation for anything. I just, I'm so fixed on this.
100% go for it. 100% go for it. As long as you're not causing harm to yourself or others, go for it. Okay. Live. You're sure as shit. It's very Australian. As sure as shit. Yeah. When the lights do turn on, that's exactly what you'll do anyway.
Huh?
You'll live. You'll live. It's exactly what you will do anyway. You'll live. You'll live. You'll be doing this and doing. It's not like when the lights turn. It's not like you're going to sit there like you've had a lobotomy. That wouldn't be very attractive. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's okay. It's a pleasure. You're okay. You're okay. Yeah.
I just need to relax. Yeah.
Yeah. And breathe. 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 Let go. Breathe. Let go. Yeah. what you're doing is eventually what happens is you just let go of the significance of the mind. You just let go. It's really, at one point you're going to go, holy shit, I've been focused on this mind my whole life and I've missed this. What the hell was wrong with me? That will happen.
I totally see how it only mind gives meaning to things, and otherwise everything is really empty of meaning. Maybe when they talk about emptiness, everything's empty. Does it just mean empty of meaning?
Empty of mind.
Or empty of mind? Yeah, empty of mind.
That's all. No mind, no matter. Listen, no mind, no matter.
Deep sleep.
That's matter, right?
Yeah.
We call that matter. Yeah. No mind, no matter. Mind creates that. A physicist will tell you all day long that's not solid.
Yeah. But
a physicist, listen.
In you, in Terry,
listen.
there's right now the mind active. So you can say that this is a mouse, right?
Sorry, say that again. I missed that.
So right now in Terry, there's an active mind that can
all of say, this is purely spontaneous coming through. None of this is pre-thought. It's just absolute pure spontaneity. Boom, 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 boom.
But in order for you to be able to say this is a mouse, there needs to be a mind.
The one
mind.
Not a little mind. There's no little mind. We say my mind, right?
But there is one mind. The consciousness is mind.
Yes. Well, where do you think the thoughts come from? Where do you think your thoughts come from? Now, how amazing is consciousness, right? Not only is it responsible for the little thoughts that go on in your mind, they're responsible for the thoughts that go on in 8 billion other people on the planet.
Genius, really. Pilar.
Cool. Thanks, Beck.